TGIF, and a big thank you to all of our deployed military members who can't be home with their families like most of us can. This is my prelude to the Friday Fraud Law Review. And I have a doozy, this one. As you know, during the shutdown, which is now over as of maybe yesterday, I think the Office of Inspector General was not publishing their prosecutorial and conviction reports and all that kind of stuff. So not on their press releases anyway. And that's where I draw the material from that I share with you about fraud in the Social Security world. And this particular time, as is often the case, but equally often not the case, this was a non-citizen behaving badly. And this is really, really bad. It's actually, this one's tragic and it involved the loss of a life. So let's get to it. This came out in September. As you probably know, I only do these once a week, so I definitely don't hit them all up. I try to take a little cross section when I'm going through and putting out some Friday reports of fraud, so people have a little view as to what actually goes on that they're not going to see from their favorite politician necessarily, or in the news, in their favorite pipeline of whatever information or misinformation they might get. So let's go to it. This was a Honduran national who did plead guilty. And it's funny, let's just look at the title. Honduran national pleads guilty to aggravated identity theft and related fraud charges. You'd never know there was a death caused by this fellow. So let's get to it. I'm infuriated, but that's just me. Okay, and I might have to make this bigger because I'm blind. Oops, maybe not. Okay, so this is in Florida, guys. The Middle District of Florida, that would be the Tampa area. So according to court documents, and again, this fellow who is apparently 35. I'm going to say his name because he's been found guilty because he pled guilty and he no longer has a presumption of innocence until proven guilty, which I would give him if he hadn't pled guilty until such time as he was found guilty. This is Juan Ariel Molina Salas. Juan Ariel Molina Salas, 35, of Honduras. According to court documents, Archer Western de Moya Group Joint Venture, aka joint venture, I guess it's an employer, guys, who is enrolled in the E-Verify system, which I do not have a lot of knowledge on at all. It's a web-based system through which employers electronically confirm employment eligibility of their employees. Molina Salas is an illegal alien from Honduras with no lawful status in the United States. In February of 2022, Molina Salas applied for employment with the joint venture, that would be Archer Western de Moya Group, in Pinellas County, Florida, and filled out an I-9 form for use in the E-Verify system. On that form, this illegal alien, Molina Salas, falsely identified himself as a United States citizen. He used another person's means of identification, and I think that other person's initials may be VVR, to defeat the E-Verify system. So it's defeatable, apparently. Lovely. I'm sure every system is defeatable, but it's pretty pathetic when an illegal alien, 35 years old, who can't even muster up his own courage to live and do fine in his own country, can defeat it here. You know? I mean, he's got to have a brain, obviously, right? So why doesn't he use it legally? I don't know. Molina Salas provided no documents or other proof that he was trained or qualified to operate a front-end loader or other heavy construction equipment. Nonetheless, so I think the employer should be going down and down heavy on all accounts here. On the evening of September 22nd, 2022, this illegal alien was working at the joint venture's highway construction site in Pinellas County under the stolen identity of VVR. That night, while operating a front-end loader, this illegal alien struck and killed Deputy Michael Hartwick of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Let's say that again. This illegal alien, while operating a front-end loader that he never proved he knew how to do, but his employer apparently allowed him, struck and killed Deputy Michael Hartwick of the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. Sure, Michael Hartwick had a family and plans of his own. Sorry, I digress. The next day, he was arrested, the illegal alien, in connection with Deputy Hartwick's death and interviewed by Pinellas County Sheriff's Office detectives. The illegal alien explained to investigators that he was from Honduras and had been in the United States for approximately 8 months, and confirmed his identity was not VVR, but rather Juan Ariel Molina Salas. The illegal alien then stated he had come to the United States illegally and was undocumented, having come through Mexico to the United States by entering in Texas. We know how porous the border was, right? He admitted to using the stolen identity to gain employment with Archer Western. They go on to talk about the different areas that were investigating this, including Homeland Security investigations, the Department of Transportation, Office of Inspector General, the Social Security Administration, Office of Inspector General, thank you, OIG, the United States Border Patrol, the Department of Labor, Office of Inspector General, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office. And of course, it's being prosecuted by United States Attorney Christopher F. Murray. So there's a whole slew, obviously, of departments, but the irony is nobody found this guy out. He gave it up by killing somebody by accident because he didn't know what he was doing and he chose otherwise to still use this dangerous machinery after he chose to illegally cross the border and chose to steal innocent, United States citizens' identification in order to do so. So, while I know there's a lot of agencies involved now that he pretty much turned himself in a sense, because he ran someone over and killed them. I don't know. I'm just so aggravated. Let's see what he got. Okay, check it out, guys. So he pled guilty to aggravated identity theft, false representation of a social security number, and a false claim of United States citizenship for employment purposes. That's what he pled guilty to. He faces a minimum penalty of 2 years in federal prison, which will be consecutive to any other prison term, and a maximum term of 12 years of imprisonment. So he got basically a slap on the wrist for all these federal violations. Now, the death of the deputy, I wonder if that's a state charge and will he be charged? It doesn't mention here. I would like to think that if any of these things are felonies, why is not a felony murder? Because in many states, if you accidentally kill somebody while you're in the middle of committing a felony, it is now a felonious murder, not just an accident, and therefore it raises the stakes from, say, manslaughter. So just curious if that's going to happen here. This really ticks me off. I hate when I hear something like this happen. Every time someone dies at the hands of someone who wasn't supposed to be here and cheated to get themselves in. Sorry, that's got to be taken far more seriously. This is just one instance of hundreds, if not thousands. It burns my britches, guys. All right, that's enough for Friday Fraud Law Review. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great weekend. Be safe and God bless. And thank you to our military members. I appreciate it. Bye-bye. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, if not just a little bit informative. In the event you have a Social Security question you want addressed, please feel free to make a comment below and ask the question, even if nothing to do with this particular video. And just a quick, again, reminder, we have our daily video shares and tips around noon every day of the week. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A session where you can come in live and enter your questions in the chat. And we all pretty much have a good time for an hour or two. I look forward to seeing you there, hopefully. And lastly, don't forget about our benefactor memberships. They're very reasonably priced. The first one is very nominal and you get a few perks, but on a bigger scale, it contributes to us being able to fulfill a mission of assisting certain people with representation that would otherwise not be able to get it. We look forward to continuing to do that. And so far it's working out like the bomb. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye now.